We're very excited to have you here today. We're going to be discussing an exciting new offering, Salient Vaidio AI Video Analytics. This is going to be hosted by myself, Sanjay, Salient's Chief Product Officer, and I'm joined on today's webinar by Dan. Dan, do you want to introduce yourself?
Thank you, Sanjay. Glad to be here. And I'm the Senior Product Manager for Integrations, and this falls soundly in my responsibility bucket.
Yep. Perfect. Well, let's dive right on in. We've got some exciting content today. So first and foremost, I'll kick us off with just an overview of kind of the analytics space. And really, these are more strategies or patterns. And then we're going to dive into this exciting new offer. We're going to talk a little bit about Vaidio AI Video Analytics. We're going to dig specifically into the specific kind of offers that we have for sale, and we'll wrap up with some, common FAQ and any Q&A that comes up. Certainly, along the way, please feel free to put comments into chat or ask questions using the Q&A button. We'll be monitoring that. If it makes sense for us to answer the question right away on the content we're on, we'll do it. Otherwise, we'll try to tackle that at the very end. And as a part of all of this, before we get into the offer details section, when we're talking about Salient Vaidio AI Video Analytics, we've got an exciting live demonstration as well to kind of showcase what this all looks and feels like. So let's dive right on in. And so we're going to start with an analytics overview before we get into the specific offer. What I find really exciting is that given all the different strategies to do and deliver analytics, Salient's open platform actually supports all of it. And it's not like there's a right or wrong answer. There are pros and cons to kind of different approaches to analytics. Fundamentally, analytics can run and be delivered by cameras. They can run and be delivered by servers that you deploy kind of on-prem or wherever you want to put these servers. Sometimes they can be virtualized. And lastly, they can be run in the cloud. And what's awesome is Salient's Complete View platform, Complete View VMS, allows you to take advantage of camera-based, server-based, and cloud-based. And there, we can read through all of this, but the net of it is there are pros and cons to each of these approaches. Simply put, the closer you get to being on-prem or being on the edge, the easier it is to handle more real-time use cases. When you get all the way to the edge, like a camera, there are some challenges, such as being able to aggregate information across more than one endpoint. And there are some challenges in being able to mix and match information from different types of cameras. So that can be one of the challenges if you go too far to the edge. If you go all the way up to the cloud, you can consistently apply analytics to any camera. You can aggregate, but real-time responsiveness becomes a little bit more challenging because information has to round trip, from a camera somewhere, physically located somewhere up to the cloud, processed, and then back out to wherever an operator is. And so, whether it's tailgating, whether it's more real-time response and operations, it can be a little bit more challenging with cloud-based. Server-based, it's a bit of a sweet spot. The caveat being, hey, there's some additional stuff to deploy and manage. So there's a bit more kind of to worry about there in terms of infrastructure. Today, what we're going to be talking about is an exciting server-based solution, and that is the Salient Vaidio AI Video Analytics solution. This is, and to be very clear, this is something that we're reselling, and we've worked very closely with an important technology partner of ours, Iron Yin, to deliver this. And so let's get right into Salient Vaidio AI Video Analytics, and let's start by talking about just what is Salient Vaidio AI Video Analytics. It is a powerful suite of people, vehicle, facial rec, and object analytics that work with any camera or really even any video source. It can just be a clip. And it integrates deeply into Complete View. It's going to be available pre-installed on purpose-built turnkey appliances that Salient provides. Certainly, we are also supporting pure software-only sales. And this is a solution that scales from, a single camera to hundreds or thousands of cameras. It's highly efficient, and one of the things that we particularly liked about this solution and what made us land on this solution is the unmatched speed it has. Very similar to kind of the responsiveness that everyone is used to with Complete View. How quickly we bring up and show video. Well, similarly, the processing and search by Vaidio is just unmatched in speed. And the other thing we really liked is the flexibility that very much mirrors the simplicity and flexibility that Complete View has. So licenses in the system are not locked to a specific camera or stream. Very easy to assign licenses to any camera. Very portable. So that's at a high level what Salient Vaidio AI Video Analytics is. And to take us a little bit deeper, Dan, I'll have you maybe showcase some of the more advanced capabilities and lead up to your demo.
Sure, thanks. With the Vaidio AI video analytics, it's really has the capability to detect, right, on a regular basis and accurately all these different types of vehicles, from bicycles to tricycles to motorcycles to jeepneys to tuk-tuks to wheelchairs. And that includes some make and model, so it can identify make and model. It's also looking for people, right? And that can be a whole person or just the head, right, the face. Animals, we've got clearly identified birds, cats, cows, dogs, horse. Anything else is going to fall into the wild animal category. But in terms of accessories that people may be carrying that you want to search for, we can identify backpacks, bags, cell phones, handguns, long rifles or long guns, luggage, umbrellas, and there's even the capability to detect fire and smoke. All right, so this is just the detection capabilities of Vaidio. All right, and if you're looking for something that's not on this list, there's an option to actually have do a custom trained AI to look for a specific object that you may have in your application.
Amazing. And Dan, as you said, these are just the objects. It gets even more exciting in terms of what you can do with the objects, right? And I think that gets us to kind of advanced analytic capabilities that layer on top of these individual objects.
That is correct. So just some great analytics here. Looking at vehicles, you can do vehicle counting, wrong way detection, make and model, license plate recognition. Absolutely not a problem with that. So safety stuff, so intrusion detection, right, within a certain region of interest. Object left behind, right? That's always a key analytic that you want to have there. PPE protection. Now, it's not simply face mask. That's actually, are your employees wearing their safety equipment, right? Hard hats, safety vests, right? You want to make sure that they're following the rules on that. Weapons detection, absolutely. Note on that, weapons detection, the weapon has to be out away from the body. So if it's, if an officer comes in and he's got his service revolver in the holster on his belt, that's not going to trigger the analytic. However, if a person comes in and they've got their gun in their hand and holding it up, that's when you get the detection on that. Fire and smoke detection, yep, absolutely. Crowd detection, so you want to know when people are crowding into a particular area. And then for people, we have age and gender capability, facial recognition, okay, and face search. And those are actually two different things. So I want to make sure we're clear on that. Facial recognition is you've got a database of known individuals with their face image, and you're comparing the video coming in from the cameras to match to that database. Okay, so that's facial recognition. Face search is, okay, I've got an individual, I don't know who it is, and I don't really need to put a name to that individual, but I want to know where they've been on my cameras throughout my system. So that's face search. So facial recognition is identification of a person. Face search is I'm just looking for a person.
It's a lookalike, right, Dan? And part of the reason why we have all these asterisks, even at the top, is when it comes to the application of facial rec, especially identifying a person because they're in the database. And in some cases, things like face search or even face detection, that's in the kind of base analytic capability. A face detection simply says, "I see a face." Don't know what kind of face it is, but this is a face versus not a face. It it is, I guess, subject to a lot of unique regulation all over the world. And the reason we've got this in asterisk is it's possible, depending on kind of the region you're in or whatnot, for some of these things to be regulated in a way where you want these disabled or turned off. So recognize that there is absolutely the ability to control whether these capabilities are enabled or not, so that you are in compliance with local regulations.
That is correct. And also keep in mind that some of these analytics can be used for not just identifying people or searching for various objects or getting alerts on. License plate recognition and facial recognition can be used for access control, right? Your face is your credential for opening doors. That was getting to be actually, that's the contactless access control that was starting to become a little bit more popular during the COVID era. But certainly it's, these analytics can be used in many, many different ways. Right? So it's just your imagination and creativity. Getting down to, so person fall or crouch, that's, so if you've got slip and fall, right, or man down, can detect that. People counting, of course, we can do that. Object counting, scene change. That's, if there's something abnormal in the scene that's, has been introduced, that we've got an analytic for that. And also for people, we can do cross-camera tracking. So you can tag somebody and then have it move across cameras as that person moves throughout the facility. Okay.
Perfect. So now that
Oh,
we've
and
talked about,
one more
go for it,
thing,
Dan.
Sanjay, is that you can run multiple analytics on each camera.
Yep. And as we're talking about all of these analytic capabilities, one important thing, just to relate back to a Q&A that's come up, is it doesn't matter whether the video source is an analog camera, an AP camera. Heck, it can be a video clip that you've exported previously. It is possible to take any video source and run or apply Vaidio AI video analytics to it. And that's part of the power of this solution. And I think that's a great segue to talking about how all of this fits into Complete View.
Absolutely. Are we ready? It's a demo time yet?
Almost. You want
Not
to
yet.
just talk through this and then we'll
Sure.
jump into the demo?
Absolutely. All right. So we've got a level 3 integration with Vaidio AI and Complete View. So that means that Vaidio AI can access video from Complete View recording servers. That's for live and recorded videos to process through the analytics. It also can send us alerts into Complete View based on rules that you set up in Vaidio. So you can get those alerts popping up. And that's in live view to notifications in the events pane. Alarm view, camera call up on events. In playback, the event list search that we introduced in 7.3. And also web views as well. We're going to show that in the demo here. And also dashboard. You can do event searching in dashboard, and those Vaidio events are going to show up there. So in the web view, this gives us that level 3 integration, is we can directly show the Vaidio interface. It's a web-based interface, but we can show that right inside Complete View desktop client. And that allows you to, in live mode, have a dashboard of Vaidio events coming in. Also in playback, allows you to do a much deeper dive into search and finding that particular thing you're looking for beyond what the search capabilities of Complete View offer you.
Perfect. Yep. And it's possible to do all that fine tuning on kind of attribute search. So with that, Dan, do you want to take us into a demo?
Sure, let me do that. Okay. All right. And you can see the familiar Complete View desktop client, yes?
Yep, coming through great.
Awesome. All right. So in this kind of simplified view, in the lower right corner, I've got all of the events that have been enabled coming into the events pane there. And of course, we've got a search function in there. So I can say, oh, let me search for red. Okay, so this is a analytic from Vaidio, red truck. So anytime a red truck passes by the office out there, I can get a notification upon that. And if I click that, And it brings up that camera, and I'll click play in the pane above there. And there's the red truck. Pretty cool, huh?
Nice. Well, hold on one moment, Dan. I think some folks are having an issue seeing the demo. Let's see if we can get that sorted real quick.
Okay, sure. Yeah.
Do you
Important.
want to try? Do you want to try not sharing and then resharing?
Yeah. Will do. Is that coming through clear?
Cool. Yeah.
Or okay.
Coming through clear.
Excellent.
So we'll see if. Cool.
All
Sorry,
right.
didn't mean to interrupt your
Yeah.
flow there.
No,
The red
not a
truck
problem.
was nice.
Right, and so it's important that the search field there in the events actually searches across all the columns that are shown there, and to match anything that you're looking for. So again, I just typed in red, and that pulls up the events that have been sent over for that. And clicking on the event, and then clicking play, plays that video. There goes the Staples truck.
Oh, what a classic red truck, huh?
Right, exactly. And I think this is the Staples truck going in the opposite direction. Yes, indeed.
That's awesome.
All right. Now in live view, you can introduce a web view. I can do that here, and I can add a web view. And that comes in as a tab up here with the video pane, but I can also take that and drag it out to a floating window. And it's a new feature introduced in Complete View 7.2. When was that? About the beginning of the year or shortly thereafter? And this is the Vaidio interface. This is a web page. And so if I wanted to do a dashboard here of events coming in, I can do that as well here, right here. This could be for other events that are not programmed to be sent to Complete View, but you still want to be, keep an eye on them. So that can be done as a dashboard right there. Moving on to alarm view. Yeah, and here we'll have to, pardon me. Yes, that was my ringtone. With alarm view, of course, any events coming from Vaidio that have been tagged as alarm will do automatic camera call up to the associated camera. And you can also just select an event here in the events pane. Okay, to get the recorded in the live view here over in the lower right corner. Just waiting for some events from Vaidio to come across. And the best laid plans.
I'll do a quick PSA, Dan, as you're waiting for an event to come in. If you're having issues
Sure.
seeing the demo, please rejoin the session. Seems to be a fix. Apologies for those who are having a hard time seeing our live demo.
Yeah, apologies for that. So I kind of move on here to playback. All right, so in playback, first and foremost, we've got introduced in 7.3 is this new event search feature. And I'm going to grab my camera that's looking at the road outside the office here, which is this Anwa. And I'm going to search for some events here in the last 24 hours, roughly 24 hours. All right, so there's my list of events. And again, I can just click on red truck. And kind of hard to see there, but it's in the background. That's the red truck. There's a Staples fan. All right, and And let's go to different camera here. And this one is, I'm not sure if I have any events on this one. Oh, there we go. So this one I've got actually multiple analytics running on this camera. I've got facial recognition, I've got object left behind, and some other people detection. So the object left behind, and I'll show you this when we get into the web view here, but it's detecting I've left my computer bag there on that desk. So it's detecting that as the object left behind. And going a little bit further here, let's go to my desk, which is always a mess. And I have a bunch of cameras at my desk. So I get a lot of events popping through there. And again, you can filter through just like in live view or in alarm view. You can filter through your events by typing in, any type of key phrase there. Expand my event range here. Let's go back to so it's another analytic line cross. Now this one, and I do apologize, I don't have video for it because I have a very small hard drive on my recording server. It's for testing purposes only. But so that falls outside the time range that I'm able to store video on that small system. But that is a Vaidio analytic that's going across there. I can even type in line. There you go, line crossed. Yeah. I'm going to pull up the Vaidio interface by selecting a web view from here in the upper right corner. There, web views. And Vaidio. All right. So this
So Dan,
defaults to, sure.
what you've showcased so far is, the ability in live and playback to be able to kind of receive and filter down some of the events. What you're about to showcase now, as you dive into this, is to get deeper, right, beyond just being able to search the the line cross or red truck, kind of these individual events that you've configured to fire across. This gives you kind of a deeper analytic. Hey, let's look for people walking their dogs or stuff like that, right?
Exactly. So this is the main search window in the Vaidio interface, and you can set your time parameters here. Select which cameras you want to search through. Got all my cameras there. It's only 4 cameras on my system, so I don't have a whole lot of events popping up. And one of the nice things here is that you can, so if you've got a complete view system and you add Vaidio to it, and you've only put 4 cameras on analytics, you've added analytics to 4 cameras, the other cameras in your system can still be processed on the recorded video. So you can import from the recording server a particular time period for any other camera in the system, and that doesn't require any additional licensing on the Vaidio product, which is very, very nice. So it allows you to start off small and still reap the benefits of Vaidio analytics. And as needed, you can shift the licenses, as Sanjay said before, you can shift licenses to different cameras. So if you start off with 4 cameras, cameras 1, 2, 3, and 4, you're doing analytics on, and then you decide that, okay, now I need to actually focus on camera 5, you could take the license from cameras 1, 2, 3, or 4 and shift it over to camera 5, not a problem. So it's very portable on that. But you can also import video. So if you've got cameras 6, 7, and 8, you can import recorded video from the complete view recording server and have that processed. And so when I look at select file here, it gives me a list of files that I've imported from complete view. And you can also import AVIs and MP4s from other devices or systems. So it could be clips that you can do the analysis on. So what I'm going to do here is show you, I'm going to be looking for bicycles. Okay, so bicycle, there it is. And I'm going to go back a little bit further in time. This defaults to 1 day, but I'm going to go back to the August 1st. And I've got all my cameras selected and all my files selected. And now I'll hit search. Okay, so that was really slow in the search results. So these are thumbnails that are stored in Vaidio. And if I click on one, it's going to pull up, and sure enough, there's a bicycle there. And I can also say, show me the bounding boxes here, so it identifies and clearly calls out the object that it has detected in this search. Okay? And even calls it out up here in the upper right corner of this pop-out window. Now, if you need to magnify and take a closer look, we've got that magnifying glass there, so you can go in and do a zoom on that. And you can also play the video. And it's retrieving video from Complete View at this point. The Vaidio does not record any video by itself, but it will pull up the recorded video from Complete View. And there he goes. All right. Now, interesting enough, let's see here. I've got, try to get my file selected. All right, there we go. I'm going to rerun that search. Okay, so this particular camera, and this is a very interesting kind of a test case. So this is the camera that's actually looking at a video being displayed on a monitor, right? And that's why you see the moire lines in the image there. But we still ran it. I downloaded the video from Complete View and then had Vaidio process it. And again, looking for bicycles. So it found the bicycle. Now the red boxes around the individuals in this.
Uh-oh, looks like we did lose Dan, unfortunately, at least his audio. No worries, we're getting that sorted. But to kind of explain the scene he's on, he's going through the fact that those red boxes were actually put on by the camera already, looking at that. And so despite all that visual noise on a TV screen that we're recording, Vaidio AI is still able to find the bicycle, which is amazing. And so that's probably kind of a good way to transition back to our session, because we've gone over what the experience in live looks like, what the playback experience looks like. Dan was able to showcase Alarm View, and we were able to dive deeply into the Vaidio AI interface using a web view and Complete View to do more advanced searches, whether it's people, vehicles, bicycles, and you can chain these things together. So you can say, I want to look for red trucks that are next to people riding bicycles. So very powerful set of capabilities there. With that,
Yeah, apologies for that. My Wi-Fi decided to shut off.
okay, no worries. But I think that was great, Dan. We were able to kind of get the full spectrum of how well Vaidio AI is integrated into Complete View, being able to kind of get the events, retrieve video, and even dive into these more advanced searches directly from the Complete View app without having to leave to be able to use that powerful interface for these more interesting searches. And so, the net of it is, and hopefully this was all clear through the demo as well. It's a very unified experience, and this integration is with Complete View helps in both live and forensic use cases. It's got really great set of analytic capabilities that have got you covered on a wide variety of use cases that you might have, whether that involves people, vehicle faces, or other objects. And I know Dan kind of said, "Wow, what a slow search!" It's shocking how quickly it pulls up the search results. Often within a second, and it's going through quite a bit of video, quite a number of cameras, or even clips, and that's very similar to kind of the speed that Complete View has in how quickly we can pull up and deliver video to clients. The other part is the flexibility, how easy it is to work with any camera stream or stored video clip, so you can bring intelligence to any part of your deployment. Going back to the questions on, hey, will it work with my analog camera? Will it work with, typically the answer is yes. Whatever your video source is, probably, we can find a way to feed that into Vaidio AI. Lots of flexibility also to choose which camera stream you're going to use to process the analytics. And very similar to Complete View, we provide turnkey appliances to make it really easy, or total flexibility in using your own hardware. So lots of flexibility there. And then from a scalability perspective, we know there are solutions out there, server-based analytics solutions out there that are a little bit more restrictive. You have to make large upfront purchases. There's, lots of, licenses or investment you can make. But that's not the case with this solution. We try to make it really easy and simple, kind of like we do with the rest of, the Salient platform. So, everything from 1 to 2 cameras up to hundreds or even thousands of cameras, just like Complete View. No minimum deployment size, just kind of get, easy to get started and add analytics as you need. And the best part is, with this being a solution that's on-prem, you can avoid dealing with network security, bandwidth and egress complexity, latency issues, because these can sometimes kind of plague, cloud-based solutions. And similarly, you can have this work on any camera in your existing infrastructure. So there's not a need to, commit to one camera manufacturer and have kind of the same sort of analytics that you can mix and match across, because you've got this, it's all Axis or it's all Hanwha, it's all, Bosch or something else. It becomes complicated. This is a solution that lets you scale, intelligence across your existing infrastructure. So that's a huge part of the scalability. So with that, we're going to transition to talking a little bit about what's available for purchase, kind of the offer details. And to make things super simple, we here at Salient created 3 bundles. We have a 4-channel object search bundle that comes on a little tower PC, a 32-channel object search that comes on a rack mount server, and then one of the things I think is most exciting, a campus package. And we really thought through the things that are very common in a lot of campus environments that we're deployed in. We, source and assemble and ship the hardware, get it, fully set up. And in order for kind of this integration to work, there is an agent. Now, this agent needs to be installed and run on the Complete View side, so on the Complete View server. And so if this is an existing deployment, then there is a little step where you're going to have to install this agent on your existing recorders. But if this is a brand new system, then certainly it's something we can help take care of, where we put that agent on the server if you order it at the same time. And these bundles, they have matching SMAs included. So there's a hardware warranty that comes, and there's either a 3 or a 5-year option. And we kind of bundle in the software maintenance. And again, this is kind of everything: the hardware, all the licenses, the analytics, the SMA. And this is to make it super easy to get up and running. As we mentioned previously, outside of these bundles, we certainly can accommodate things that are a little bit more unique or custom, whether that's using your own hardware or whether that's customizing the analytics to better meet specific application needs. These bundles are really meant to create easy starting points, and we built them to be expandable for that reason. So Dan, why don't you take us through some of the bundles in a little bit more detail?
Sure. So the object search bundles, we've going to be offering them in a 4-channel or a 32-channel option. Now, it's object search is kind of a misnomer because it doesn't really tell you everything that's available as part of this. You do get the real-time analysis and alerting, so you can create rules and do the alerts and have them sent to Complete View. A heat map generation, right? And all those great search capabilities. So including, being able to look for a person with a dog, right? Or a person with a red shirt and a backpack, right? So that's all included in these bundles. And these are designed with expansion in mind. So, the 4-channel that's going to be available on a small tower PC, that can be expanded to 12, 16 channels easily. The 32-channel option can be increased to 48, I believe was what we came up with on that one, Sunday, or was that?
I believe so. Yeah, there's
Okay.
a good bit of, and some of that depends on the complexity of the additional analytic that you want to put on, because some analytics are a lot more demanding than others. So, correct, there's quite a bit of headroom on both these systems.
Right. So, and again, that's going to be available in a 4-channel and 32-channel. And then the campus package is really very,
Yep, we go there.
yep, there we go. All right. So basically, we're going to be packaging all of the capabilities of the object search bundle, but including people counting, facial recognition, weapons detection, license plate recognition, vehicle make and model, and unattended object detection. And, we call it the campus package because it could be used by schools, whether that's K through 12 or higher ed. It could be used in healthcare campuses, in corporate campuses, anywhere you've got, a collection of buildings, that are all part of the same complex, the same facility. Um, this going to cover a lot of the features and functions that customers are asking for. So we put together a nice little map to kind of illustrate this. So this is a community college, in lovely, cool Arizona. It's brutal out there during the summertime. But you'll see here, I placed the icons on the map there. So they've only got two entrances where the vehicles are coming in. So that's the two LPR, the pink icons there. And then, LPR is great because you can catalog and create watch lists and get statistics. But in terms of people, if some say in this particular campus, they have a problem with that in that main driveway between the LPR points of people speeding through there, even though they put in some massive speed bumps. So when a car does go speeding through there, a lot of times people are going to remember the make and model, but not necessarily the license plate. So having make and model detection spread across in that area, plus parking lots, can make it easier to identify and pinpoint a vehicle that was um, involved in some type of altercation. Also putting facial recognition at some choke points, particularly the student union and the performance center, and some other choke points where people are entering the campus from the parking lots. And those include weapons detections at that point, at those points. Also people counting. And then in the quad, the main central open area, and also in the student union, we put an object left, in case somebody deposits a backpack. And in this day and age, that's suspicious, and you want to treat it with care. So being able to be alerted upon that is very key. So hope that makes sense on that map and how we kind of put together the campus package. I think it covers most of the bases that people would want to use in terms of analytics. And again, the LPR could be used for parking access, right? As a student or a staff member comes pulling up, license plate is recognized, and the cross arm goes up. Likewise, with if you've got turnstiles coming in, that could be, or access control, you can use facial recognition to be the credentials.
Awesome. Yeah, this is a great way to visualize how, in a campus environment, the campus package can help drive a lot of these operations. So with that, I think that wraps up kind of the kind of enablement that we're doing on this launch. I think there's one really important topic though that's worth covering because we are here reselling analytics, and it certainly begets a question of is Salient still an open platform? And I think it's really important to state that we absolutely remain committed to being an open platform. And as we said at the very beginning, analytics, at least in terms of how you solve that problem, it can be done by cameras, it can be done by servers, and it can be done by cloud-based solutions. And here at Salient, our strategy is to absolutely continue supporting all three of the above with a variety of technology partners. The reason we're doing this particular offering is, over the, literally decades that we've been an open platform and working hand to hand with incredible technology partners, we recognize and we see the value in being able to be a one-stop shop for getting, both your VMS and also your video analytics, to have one purchasing point, to have one point of support. And so we see the value in that increasingly in the day and age of marketplace solutions available today. And we've already got some pretty great camera and cloud partnerships. And we really saw a gap in being able to deliver more robust on-prem analytic capabilities, especially because many of these are a good fit for a lot of Salient end users. A lot of Salient end users have far too many cameras to make really effective use of cloud-based analytics, a practical solution, whether that's network, cybersecurity, bandwidth concerns. Some of that being, real-time use cases, latency issues. It was not always feasible. Certainly, we do have customers, Salient customers, have taken advantage of cloud-based analytic partnerships that we have. On the flip side, we've also certainly enabled lots of our end users to take advantage of camera-based analytics. That continues to be an ongoing area of investment for us. But so many of our customers have fairly large footprints. And again, it's impractical to go replace a bunch of cameras with more advanced analytic cameras. And often there's a huge upside to being able to leverage existing infrastructure and to work with any camera that's already part of your system. And so that's why it made a lot of sense for us to choose this particular solution, and in really recognizing the value of making it easy to purchase, easy to get support. So that's want to be very clear that still an open platform, still more than happy to work with a variety of solutions. Very excited about this particular offer to make it just easy on everybody. And with that, we do have some very common FAQs. I think some of this has come up in the questions.
Yes, it has.
Yeah, Dan, if you want to maybe take some of these, and we can maybe even tie some of these to the questions that have been asked so far.
Sure, absolutely. So yes, you can buy just software only. You don't have to buy our appliances, but going with the turnkey appliances certainly would make deployment much easier. SMA is required for the first year, absolutely. So as we've stressed repeatedly throughout the webinar, these licenses are not tied to any specific camera. There's no MAC address registration or anything like that. You can shift which cameras you want to run through the Vaidio analytics at any time you want. Not a problem there. Yes, you can run more than one analytic per camera. Absolutely. And that certainly leverages, not having to put out multiple cameras into the same area just to have different, analytics on them. So yes, you can do that. Absolutely. This was definitely in the Q&A. So Vaidio runs on Linux, specifically Ubuntu 20.04. Okay, so it cannot be installed on the same server as Complete View, which is a Windows application. Okay. So in what the hardware that's required for Vaidio is specifically looking at NVIDIA GPUs. That's where they do their magic. The AI stuff is on the NVIDIA GPUs. So yeah, this has to be a separate server.
Yeah, and Intel processors, not
Yes.
AMD processors. So it's
rather
rather specific.
Yep. Yeah. The hardware options, again, we're doing a small tower PC for the 4-channel bundle, and then a very powerful rack mount server for the 32-channel and the campus package. And the bundles are expandable. Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. They can just be additional video search channels, or you could add more advanced analytics up to there, like facial recognition or license plate recognition can be added to those bundles.
Perfect. There are a couple of other questions that we can tackle now. One of the ones is, instead of using Complete View, is it possible to use Vaidio just independently, full screen in a web browser? There are a couple of ways to solve this. Certainly, you can just open a web browser, Firefox, Chrome, Edge, whatever, and pull up the Vaidio interface. But probably an even easier way to do this is the web views that Dan was showcasing. You can tear that out into a floating window. You can full screen that. So without necessarily leaving the Complete View app, you absolutely can have a full screen web experience with Vaidio. But for some reason, if you just want to open up a separate web browser, that you can do that as well. Let's see, we've got one on being able to filter alarms and events by sites or by certain locations. That's makes a ton of sense. If you have a lot of sites within the management server, being able to filter down to a specific site, certainly something that we've heard of, we understand. Today, there isn't a super straightforward way to kind of filter by that. One of the product directions we're moving in here at Salient is to allow people to better segment their deployment so that each individual site can be a little bit more independent, and to make enhancements that allow kind of the ability to filter anything, alarms, events, just operations on a site by site basis. So coming real soon, the ability to better filter by a specific site as opposed to everything underneath a management server. What else do we
Yes,
have?
definitely coming soon.
Definitely coming soon. Yep. Can Vaidio run in a VM environment? I'm sure it can. I know we've had that question before. Just something to keep in mind, though, is this is a fairly specialized analytic app, has quite a bit of hardware dependency again on NVIDIA GPUs, Intel processors. So you might be losing quite a bit of efficiency in trying to run it in a VM environment. And because just the resource utilization is going to be quite inefficient that way. So not impossible, but maybe not recommended, or maybe not the best use of VM resources that you have available. So something to keep in mind. But a lot of that will depend on the situation that you're in. There certainly might be situations where it still makes sense to run this in a VM. Let's see, what else has come up? I think those are probably kind of the most important ones. I know there are some questions on, kind of the PPM or PPF, lighting, whatnot required. I guess the simple answer to that is, gosh, so much of that depends. And there's certainly a little bit of work in making sure that the setup, the config, the install is done in a way that actually allows you to identify some of the objects that you want in the scenarios that you're interested in. And so that's going to be no different than the tuning required, whether you're doing camera-based, server-based, or cloud-based. There is some work to kind of make sure you're getting enough pixels for the analytic engine to do what it's supposed to do.
Yes, absolutely. And that becomes very critical when you're talking about license plate recognition, and even more important with facial recognition.
Yep, exactly. Gosh, I don't know if we have too many more new questions coming in. Hopefully, y'all enjoyed today's session. I know there was maybe a little bit of a struggle in getting the live demonstration working for everybody. Great news, though, is this is a recorded session, and there was a live demo in all of this. So in case you missed any of that, certainly feel free to catch up on the recording and just skip to the part with the live demo. Whether it's the red truck or some of the other cool stuff that Dan was able to showcase, you'll be able to catch it all there. Thank you all for tuning in. This new offering is now live. I know there's some questions about pricing and availability. I encourage you to reach out to your friendly neighborhood Salient sales representative, and they can assist you. Thank you all so much.